Hi, I'm Soul Patel, course instructor for Geotechnical Engineering 2. The contents covered in this presentation are the definition for settlement, what are its causes, and various types of settlement. Here we can see a structure which is constructed over a soil mass. So, soil mass is getting loaded due to this structure. There is a stress which acts on the soil mass. Stress is nothing but load divided by area. So with the increase in stress, the deformation in the soil increases. And due to this deformation, there will be vertical downward movement of the soil, and this is what is referred to as settlement. So settlement is nothing but the total vertical downward deformation at the surface of the soil mass which results due to the applied load is settlement. Similarly, when the load is decreased or due to the removal of the load, like for example during excavation the earth is removed, that is a part of soil mass is excavated, due to which the deformation will be vertical, be upward, and this process is referred to as swelling. Both settlement and swelling can be determined by using the same procedure. One is the vertical downward movement of the soil, which is referred to as settlement, and the other one is upward movement of the soil, which is due to removal of the load, and this is referred to as swelling. So settlement is due to application of the load, and swelling will be due to removal of the load or due to decrease in the application of the load. When the stress is increased on the soil, which is usually due to the construction of any structure starting from foundation to the superstructure, it results into compression of the various layers of the soil. As a civil engineer, we need to know how much would be the total settlement of the soil, which is referred to as change in volume. That is, the volume decreases with increase in the load and it may increase due to removal of the load. So we need to know how much will be the total settlement of the soil due to the construction of any structure. And also we need to know how much would be the time required for the settlement of the soil mass. The compression of soil layer will lead to settlement, and it is caused by either by removal of air from the voids or by removal of water from the voids. The removal of air from the voids is referred to as compaction, and removal of water from the voids is referred to as consolidation. Consolidation is usually of two types. First one is referred to as first degree consolidation, and the later one is the second degree consolidation. Removal of water from voids is referred to as primary consolidation, that is nothing but first degree consolidation. And after removal of water from the voids, the soil particles will try to rearrange themselves. So the plastic readjustment of soil molecules to achieve more stable position is referred to as second degree consolidation, which is also known as secondary consolidation. After construction of the structure, soil should satisfy the two conditions. One is bearing capacity and second one is allowable settlement. That means the capacity of the soil should be high compared to the load being applied on it. So capacity to resist applied loads without failure will be the bearing capacity of the soil. And the settlement of the soil should not be more, so there shouldn't be any excessive settlement. In order to see to it that the structure is safe, soil should satisfy both these two conditions. Which are those? First one is bearing capacity, which has to be within the limit, and also settlement has to be within the limit. Here we can see a structure which is constructed over the layers of the soil. On top we can find sandy soil, below there is soft or loose soil, and underneath there is a bed rock. After some years, the structure may settle down, and here we can see that there is a large settlement being observed. So this was the initial position of the structure, and this is what is the final position of the structure. Due to settlement of the soil, because there is a loose soil underneath, so there will be large settlement of the structure, due to which the structure moves downwards. And also there may be differential settlement which will be observed, which is referred to as non-uniform settlement. What do we mean by non-uniform settlement? A part of the structure will settle more compared to the other part. This may be due to the presence of loose soil over this section compared to the other section. Leaning Tower of Pisa has undergone differential settlement. That means one part of the structure has settled more compared to the other part. There are various causes of settlement. First one is poor compaction, second is low bearing capacity of soil, third one is due to consolidation also there is settlement being observed, and due to presence of vegetation, vibration, and also climatic change would result into settlement of the soil. So while construction, we know that the soil will be excavated, and after laying the foundation, the soil is filled back. That means backfilling is done. So while filling of the soil, if contractor does not care about compacting the soil, then there may be presence of voids which would contain air. So when the compaction is not done properly, these voids or holes would be left in the soil, and later after construction the static load starts acting on the foundation, and due to this load the soil would be compressed, and finally it would result into settlement of the soil. So it is very important to see to it that the soil is properly compacted after backfilling is done to remove air from the voids. Next is low bearing capacity of soil. There are some soils whose bearing capacity may be low, and if the load is applied on such type of soil, there will be failure due to shear deformation or differential deformation, which results into settlement. Like for example, let us say if the soil found under the structure is clay, and when water comes in contact with it, it acts like sponge because it may absorb water, due to which building starts to sink. Next is consolidation. Consolidation is nothing but removal of water from the voids. So here we can see a structure being constructed over the soil mass. While constructing this structure, it would be constructed in various stages. That means load is applied in stages. Like for example, let us say during construction of initial stage, the load applied on the soil mass is 1 ton. There will be removal of water from the voids. Then in the second stage of construction of this structure, let us say the load applied is 5 ton. Then with this application of load, there will be further removal of water from the voids. And again with the further increase in load, like let us say during the final stage of construction, the load applied on the soil mass is 10 ton. Again there will be removal of water from the voids. So in this process of application of load, we have seen that the soil mass has undergone volume change. That means the volume of the soil mass has reduced from initial to final stage. In this figure, we can see a graph which is drawn for volume versus load. With the increase in load, the volume of the soil mass has decreased. And the same is being shown here. With the increase in load, the volume of the soil mass has decreased. And here in this last figure, we can see that the load is removed. With the removal of the load, the soil has regained its original volume, or it has regained some portion of its volume. So during unloading, volume of the soil mass increases. So this is what is the curve which we obtain while unloading the soil sample. So first one represents the curve for loading, that means the volume has decreased, and second curve shows that the volume has increased with the decrease in the load or with the removal of the load. So consolidation results into settlement. Next is vegetation. Here in this figure we can see a structure and near to it there is a tree. The roots of the tree will try to absorb moisture or water present in the soil. So due to this, what will happen is clay would shrink. And due to this, there will be settlement of the soil mass under a part of the structure and there will be differential settlement. So it is important to check out what should be the distance between the structure and the vegetation. Next is vibration. Earthquakes, road traffic and building construction or demolition also would cause vibration, and this will weaken the soil below the ground level, which can lead to settlement of the soil. Here in this figure we can see a structure before an earthquake, and after the earthquake or during the earthquake there is sand boiling which is seen. That means soil has liquefied. What do we mean by liquefaction? It is nothing but the change in the soil from solid phase to the liquid phase. And soil liquefaction is also defined as a phenomenon where the saturated or partially saturated soil loses its strength and stiffness during the application of stress, which may be during earthquake or when there is sudden change in the applied load or applied stress. And due to this, soil behaves like a liquid, and this phenomenon is referred to as soil liquefaction. And here we can see that there is unequal settlement, that is differential settlement due to soil liquefaction after an earthquake. And even due to climatic change, there will be settlement of the soil mass. That is, maybe during monsoon season or rainy season, there will be increase in the water content of the soil, due to which there may be settlement of certain portion of the soil mass. And here we can see that there are cracks which are observed due to settlement of the soil mass and further settlement of the structure constructed over it. Now we will learn various types of soil settlement. First one is with respect to permanence. So there are two types of settlement which are observed with respect to the type of permanence, that is permanent settlement, and second is temporary settlement. Permanent settlement is also referred to as irreversible settlement, and it is usually caused by sliding or rolling of the soil particles under the applied stress. Here we can see the soil being loaded during the construction of the structure. So there will be sliding or rolling of the soil particles when there is stress applied on it. And permanent settlement is also observed with the reduction of the void ratio of the soil, and also due to crushing of the soil particles, and also if there is consolidation settlement, we observe permanent settlement. And next type is temporary settlement. It occurs due to elastic compression of the soil, and it is very small in magnitude in soils. Second one is the type with respect to uniformity. So with respect to uniformity, we have got two types of settlement. First one is uniform settlement and second one is differential settlement. Here in this figure, we can see uniform settlement of the structure with no cracks. In this building, we cannot see any cracks because the building has undergone uniform settlement. What do we mean by uniform settlement? That means all points have settled by equal amount. There is no differential settlement or there is no non-uniform settlement. And this occurs under rigid foundation which is loaded with uniform pressure all over. And if it rests over uniform soil, then we can observe uniform settlement. And it has got minimum risk to the structural stability. Here we cannot see any development of cracks or failure. And there will be risk to serviceability, for example, for utility lines. And second one is differential settlement. Here we can see that there is development of crack, and this is due to the settlement of a part of structure compared to the other part. And this settlement of the section of the structure has occurred due to the non-uniform settlement of the soil mass which is below it. Next is the type with respect to mode of occurrence. There are three types. One is immediate, primary and secondary settlement. Immediate settlement is also referred to as elastic settlement, and it is also known as compaction. Why it is known as compaction? Because there is removal of air from the voids present in the soil mass. And this elastic settlement or immediate settlement is denoted by SI. I stands for immediate. This is caused by the elastic deformation of the dry, wet or saturated soil particles without change in moisture content. That means during elastic settlement there won't be any removal of water from the voids. And this type of settlement usually occurs during or immediately after the construction of the structure. And it is computed using elastic theory, wherein we need to know the value of Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio. And this is important for granular soil. Like for example, if the structure is constructed over the sand, we observe immediate or elastic settlement with the removal of air from the voids. Next comes the consolidation settlement. Consolidation settlement takes place after the immediate settlement, that is after removal of the air, the water is removed from the soil mass. When a saturated clay is loaded due to the construction of the structure, water is removed from the voids, and due to this soil shrinks, and this process takes several months or years to consolidate depending upon the permeability of the soil mass. Consolidation settlement is again of two types. One is primary consolidation settlement and next one is secondary consolidation settlement. Primary consolidation settlement is denoted by SP. It is caused due to volume change which results by the reduction in pore water pressure in saturated cohesive soil due to expulsion of water from voids. Under immediate settlement, we saw that air is removed from the cohesionless soil, that is sand, whereas primary consolidation settlement is observed in cohesive soil, that is inorganic clay or silty soil. And after reduction of air and water, we find secondary consolidation settlement, which is denoted by SS. And it is due to volume change which results by the rearrangement of the soil particles. Once the air is removed from the voids, later water is removed, and after air and water is been removed from the voids, the soil particles will try to rearrange themselves, and this occurs at effective stress. We know that effective stress is only due to the soil particles present, and this type of settlement is found usually in organic soil, whereas primary consolidation settlement is observed in inorganic soil. Now the total settlement is sum of immediate settlement and consolidation settlement. So ST is equal to SI plus SC, where SC is summation of primary consolidation settlement and secondary consolidation settlement. So total settlement ST is sum of immediate settlement, primary consolidation settlement and secondary consolidation settlement. These are some of the references which were used while preparing this presentation. Thank you.